has started. Loading screen is up. We've got CatZ and Fnatic Rain representing Team Last Second Alliance against Baz and haCkDeSaix representing Team Stream Cheaters.
Alrighty, so Stream Cheaters spawning in the southwestern positions with, of course, haCkDeSaix spawning as the orange Protoss' ally here. Baz will be the red Terran, and their opponents, probably the favorite in this matchup, will be CatZ, aka Colonel CatZ, who is spawning as the teal Zerg, and then, of course, his ally Fnatic Rain spawning as the green Terran. I'm pretty amazed I actually didn't botch any of the colors there. You were waiting for it, weren't you?
I was ready to call you on it. And the probe is now moving out. Looks like he will be doing... Oh, we got a little bit of lag here. Looks like we're okay. He will be starting that wall off, and I expect the Terran player to do the same on his side. Indeed, he is. There's the supply depot. So a double wall off against a Terran Zerg composition here. CatZ with that 10 Overlord. Now, as far as I know, it might have been a 9 Overlord actually, but as far as I know, 9 Overlord is a lot better than a 10 Overlord, but it doesn't really matter too much.
Yeah, not too super significant, but you're definitely right about that. What does matter a lot is this gas first opening coming out of Rain here, so it looks like we'll be seeing Hellion and I'm probably Speedling from CatZ, but he's going for that 14 gas, so going to be a little bit later, and CatZ dropping a good luck, have fun. We haven't actually seen many good luck, have funs between these guys. I think everyone's taking the tournament pretty seriously here.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
I guess you're just kind of in a different mindset when you're playing 2v2s. You just know it's more casual. It's not as like cutthroat because there's 2 players on each team, and so you don't really feel like it's necessary. All 4 players to type GL have fun. I don't know, but very polite of him to do so. We are seeing that Rax come up, and I expect to see a factory. As you mentioned, there was a gas first from Rain. The factory and the reactor should follow, but. It's kind of weird. There's no Zerg on the other team, so is it smart to go Hellions? You think he is going to go Hellions?
I mean, that's usually what a gas first opening leads to. He could still possibly go for some kind of Banshee play, which would be very interesting, but of course against... I don't know, I just don't feel like Hellions is going to be very good, especially obviously this wall is already done, and the wall is going to be continuing here as I'm predicting a Cybernetic score goes down, and wow, what a prediction it does indeed go down. But yeah, I can't really see the Hellions doing a whole lot, but if you get a lot of Hellions and then a bunch of Speedlings, you will at least have map control. But of course, map control doesn't deny your opponents from these 2 in-base expansions.
Yeah, and we aren't seeing that reactor on that barracks, and we are seeing CatZ continue to mine, so I think we're going to see some fast cloaked Banshees here from Rain. He's got that SCV out there. Is he going to build that starport? No, he's just kind of looping around. And, well, you know what?
There
Nothing.
It is.
Oh, yep, proxy starport in the west side of the map. And I'm checking out his gas. I'm waiting for CatZ to transfer. He's got 150 right now. Just going to wait and see. And we're going to see a cloaked Banshee, I'm assuming. And do we have any response from Baz and haCkDeSaix? Just some scan. That's all I can see for the time being.
Yeah, and I mean, scans can often be enough to kind of carry you through that really devastating early part, and it looks like he's going to continue teching up to. He's kind of doing that dreaded 1-1-1 build, getting a tech lab on his factory. He might swap this, or he might just immediately start tank production, yet going for those tanks. And I'm thinking, I don't know what we'll see from haCkDeSaix. I'm kind of feeling a 4-gate, but it looks like he actually might just expand, or maybe build his gateways over here. Nope, going to be a Nexus. It's always kind of ambiguous. You can make 3 gateways, or you can make a Nexus, one or the other, both do lead to a lot of fun.
So it's going to be all on Rain here to make the best use of these Banshees as possible. And believe it or not, we have not seen any gas transfer from CatZ. I'm pretty sure Rain has been sitting at... There's the cloak. He's been sitting at 200 gas for a while. Are we going to see 100 more come so we can start that Banshee?
Yeah, CatZ is... He's sitting at 300 gas,
yeah.
So he's got gas to spare, you just lend it and give it back, but it looks like that's not going to be the case. And actually, Rain is even getting a second reactor starport, so I think just now, yeah, it looks like it did happen.
Yep, there's the resource transfer. Now he does have double Banshees coming up, one being proxied, one in a normal position, and a nice scan by Baz, seeing those Banshees. But, when you think about it, maybe not the best scan. Now he has one less for when that Banshee does complete, and Rain probably going to wait for that cloak to move in. The cloak is a little bit behind that Banshee.
this is actually going to be really interesting because he scanned the main, but he doesn't see that little green goopy thing rotating around on the tech lab. So it's like, well, okay, he's just going to make a Banshee and then do some harassment, maybe go for a push just using the Banshee's DPS unit. But you really don't expect Cloak, because it's like, well, I scanned, I didn't see you researching anything on the tech lab, and it wouldn't already be done. So, I mean, they're not going to make an engineering... Well, actually, he has an engineering base, so he's going to do it anyway, so that's good, because that could have gotten pretty dicey. We're definitely not going to see any observers, but there is a Forge out. However, this Banshee is quite ready to start attacking, and it looks like our Protoss player will be taking some damage here, but, I mean, he could afford to lose probes. He expanded pretty quick.
Yeah, and that was a great point about that tech lab. I know Baz is a ladder player. I don't know if he is keen enough to notice that there was no glowy thing on that tech lab, and so he is being caught a bit off guard by the Cloak. But there goes the scan, plenty of energy, and maybe a bit of carelessness from Rain. There was a Viking and 3 Stalkers, and he was kind of cornered there, pinned against the mineral patches. Then that Viking, or that Banshee, does go down with just a couple kills. But in the meantime, another one forcing the cancellation of that command center. It's going to go straight for the Terran SCVs, but there is a missile turret.
Meanwhile, that Viking going to start getting some hits in, and that turret, of course, provides a lot of detection, and a bit sloppy here. The Viking just getting to wail away. It looks like he's going to be able to clean that up. It does go down. Meanwhile, the Banshee and the Protoss expansion up to 7 kills here, doing some damage, but the turret, or not the turret, the cannon will finish, and that's going to spell the end of it. Looks like that's a Banshee aggression here, but he's still making a couple Banshees, of course. Always good for your army. He's actually gone ahead and swapped his one starport, now getting a siege mode, a siege tank expanding, and just playing normally in CatZ. He's doing what CatZ does. He's getting pathogen glands. He's going to make a whole bunch of infestors here, and he's even actually taking a very fast 3rd base as well.
Yep, we see the 3rd base over here in the eastern position, and you know what? CatZ really doesn't have a lot. He's got 11 Lings and 4 Roaches, but that's because he's been teching up, he's been droning up, and he's going to have infestors out pretty quick. 11 more drones on the way for CatZ, and finally Rain's going to cut his losses. He's going to abandon that poor tech lab, and this is where I want Baz to send out an SCV and build a barracks on that tech lab and start using it. That'd be awesome.
Oh man, that would definitely be something. You know what else is awesome? The 3 infestors in production, as well as there was a second there where he had actually 850 gas saved up, but you can see now in that production tab, 7 infestors on the way, and this will be pretty good. Of course, the tank count is very high, and there is actually a Raven out, so of course that is pretty useful for providing detection. So I can't see these infestors doing too much damage, but unlike the previous game we saw from CatZ, CatZ actually using economy to back it up this time.
Yeah, they know who they're playing against. They know what CatZ likes to do. They're going to get some infestors out, and you can already see Baz producing that missile turret next to his barracks there by the choke. And you know what? They haven't even scanned that infestation pit, so maybe they just have a feeling. You know, they know there are some Banshees out there. They want to cover the front against the Banshees, maybe cover it against the infestors, cover all grounds there. But you know, CatZ surging ahead in the drone count, 49 drones. 52 drones now, and he's got both those guys just coming up. He's going to be producing infestors probably for the rest of the game. He's even got Burrow and Neural Parasite on the way.
And it looks like Rain's transition here will just be 2 factory siege tanks, and of course, I mean, this is how the longer 2v2 games go. You see a lot of infestors, a lot of tanks, and interestingly enough, we're not seeing Colossus, but as you mentioned, the High Templar, and I think High Templar are a great choice. Just a very good unit. Storm isn't necessarily going to be too effective, but of course you hit a lot of feedbacks, and the infestors just say goodnight. And you know, these Banshees in the mix right now, he's got 2 Banshees still. They can just die in one shot if they've got enough energy to that feedback.
Yeah, and that's one unit you don't often see feedback too much because usually the cloaking energy is quite low. One cool thing about feedback, though, on Cloaked Banshees is it immediately reveals them, obviously, but is it worth... one Banshee going down there. Is it worth 50 energy that you could be using for 2/3 of a Psionic Storm? And, whoa, a couple tank shots going off on haCkDeSaix. Here comes the Infestors. Some more synergizing here. If it's not Colossi Infestor, it's Tank Infestor. Long-range units paired with these little slug-like creatures tend to be pretty good.
And Baz actually dropping a PDD that's a little bit bizarre. The Banshee actually the only unit that's going to be affected by that. Nonetheless, it still provides a little bit of spotting, which is nice, although they do have the Xel'Naga Watchtower. So this is kind of a pretty big standoff. It's kind of like a TVT. You both sit at your Xel'Naga Watchtower, and that's what you do. And then maybe you march some Marines into die because you don't like them. I tend to do that myself quite a bit, but usually not the nicest thing to do.
That's not nice at all. Rain trying to get some vision with that Banshee. And actually, you know what? That PDD actually got a couple shots off on that Banshee missile. Those Banshee missiles blocking 2 rounds of attacks. And yeah, you're exactly right. This is looking a lot like a TBT. I don't know who's going to make the first move here. It looks like, wow, Rain has 10 tanks. Baz only has about 8 tanks, actually. Not too far off. But I'm surprised Destiny isn't trying to do some burrow action.
You mean CatZ?
Yes, CatZ. I'm so used to Destiny doing that. But, oh, he actually took the Raven. Now he can try to do some burrowing. And down
that's pretty nice. Gonna go ahead and focus that down with the Marines. Very solid stuff there. And it's PDD being pretty annoying on the Banshee. But this is actually just like a TVT. He's going to be able to use that Cloak Banshee now and really kind of push these tanks back. And they're going to have to kind of rely on a scan here. Although that Banshee is just about out of energy and is very few hit points, but the main story actually that you can't actually see on screen with this big standoff is the amount of expansions that CatZ has. He is up to 4 bases, everybody else just sitting at 2, so CatZ at 75 drones is going to have an unbelievable economy. He's getting a Greater Spire, he's got a whole bunch of Corruptors out, he's making more, he's making that Greater Spire. Now their opponents are making Vikings, but they've done a good job killing the ones already out, so as soon as these Broodlords stop popping out, it is going to be very potent. The tanks are just going to get blatantly owned. The Stalker's going to basically have to run away because there's no blinking under Broodlords that are supported by both Infestors and Siege tanks.
Yeah, this is the first time we've really seen tank-on-tank standoff action almost in the dead center of the map, so this is actually really cool. But check it out, CatZ with 6 Broodlords on the way. And he can definitely fund these Broodlords, man. He's running off of 5 bases. He's trying to get his 6th. This is insane. He's at 78 Harvesters, and this is going to turn bad for Baz and haCkDeSaix pretty fast with only 4 Vikings, especially when CatZ has all that Infestor support for those Broodlords.
Yeah, it looks like Baz realizes what's up. He's adding in 2 additional starports to try and get out as many friggin' Vikings as possible, but I just don't think it's really going to be in time as the Broodlords are, I mean, they're done morphing. They're going to be able to push in here, be supported, and they'll be able to easily take the Selnaga Watchtower. And once again, it's just so many units right now and such a strong economy here. 83 drones.
And look at this is kind of cute. If you notice down towards the bottom, Baz is actually mining the minerals from the opposite side that you're intended. That's how much of a pickle they're in right now. They don't feel safe putting that command center outside, of the confines of their base.
And man, this Protoss army very balled up. All he needs is some fungals. He's actually going for neural parasites on these Templar. The 1 neural parasite that went down got immediately fed back. A little bit greedy. I mean, you just bungle that army. It was so clumped up, but either way, this Protoss army way out of position. I've got no idea where Baz's tanks are to back this up. I guess they're way back at home. And, I mean, everything except for the Blink Stalkers absolutely getting crushed there. And that is just going to put Team Last Second Alliance here in a vast lead. CatZ is pretty much maxed out. He's actually floating a ton of money as well, just because he's maxed out. Probably going to want to start feeding Rain up. But look at this, a massive drop in the main base. Oh my god. Actually doing so much damage here, but is it really enough? I don't know. We'll see tons of units streaming back to deal with this.
Yeah, and you know what? CatZ's Broodlords being mismanaged. All of them being caught off guard by these Blink Stalkers. Are these Blink Stalkers going to be enough? They need to get 1 more Blink in to get right under these Broodlords. Indeed they do, but here come the Infestors from CatZ. He's going to lose a couple Broodlords, but they will eventually be cleaned up. And here come the Vikings. Where are you, Infestors? You got to go over there and fungal. Meanwhile, some Vikings from Baz landing in the base to support those Marines. With that drop, will be cleaned up. And some nice neural parasites from CatZ, but does he really